What's good, magical family? It's Unique Divination, and you are tuned in to Urban Mystik TV. This is a full moon reading for July 2018, and it is going to be an Aquarius full moon. An Aquarius full moon, so that has some interesting energy within itself. Now, Aquarius usually stands for humanity, teamwork, consensus, the overall good of the group. And so for this full moon, I think we need to be focusing on the whole instead of the individual, if you guys kind of understand what that means. We also need to work on social skills. We may need to get out a little bit more under this Aquarian full moon, and just be a little bit more social than what we've been in the past, right? So as always, for the full moon readings, I've got my Thoth deck, I've got a past life card, and I've got a goddess guidance card. And we're going to get right into the Thoth tarot deck. And so the first card that we have is the Eight of Discs, right? The Eight of Discs deals with, first of all, Sun and Virgo. So anytime we've got a Virgo and we've got the sun shining on Virgo, we know that there's going to be some analyzing, some self-analyzing, a little self-critical, and just, self-awareness is going to be around the energy of this full moon in Aquarius. So pretty much the seeds that you planted for yourself with the full moon and Capricorn energy of June, organizing, planning, just getting things together. We're going to start to see that stuff blossom within this month under the Eight of Discs, right? 8 stands for harmony, adjustment, balance. And so we're going to start to see the fruits of what we've been sowing all year long, particularly more so in June than anything because of that full moon and Capricorn energy. So we're still learning. We're still trying to become aware of who we are on a positive note and a negative note. And like I said, we're going to continue to benefit from that. Now, sometimes when we do become self-aware or start to criticize ourselves, we want to be careful that we don't go into this victim mode. Because we're starting to maybe see things that we don't like about ourselves. We don't want to start blaming other people for our actions and the things that we're trying to critique and fix. So let's make sure to not use the victim mentality just because we're becoming or continuing to become more self-aware, critique ourselves, and just kind of track where the stem of who we are comes from. And it's okay to acknowledge where something stems from, but again, the victim card is going to leave you powerless. So let's make sure that we're doing this without playing the victim card, It's easier said than done, but the more we become self-aware, the easier it is to reclaim that power and just realize that ultimately everything is our choice and our decision. We are responsible for our own actions, right? And make sure, that we have everything in order before we try to venture off to do things. For those of us that are looking for a new job, purchase a new home or new car, make sure you got your stuff in order. Make sure your credit's right. Make sure you've got everything you need to do what you got to do. You don't want to be scrambling at the last minute to kind of fix these things. So let's work on them beforehand. The pre-work before the work. And sometimes it's hard, but it's worth it because you'll have all your stuff in order. Right? And just realize that you don't have to force anything. Just make sure that you're being consciously aware and just prepping, and try to make it an everyday part of your life. If you look at everything as like a daily ritual, it becomes second nature, and it won't be something that you feel like you're struggling to do. Right? Look at all of these things as like a ritual, a daily thing that needs to be done in order for you to maintain. The next card we've got is the Prince of Wands. And this card just basically lets us know that we need to continue to trust our intuition. For my creators out there, my artistic people, you might have a spike in some creativity. Trust the process. If it's music, if it's art, whatever it is that you do creatively, you're going to have like an influx of ideas, theories, solutions, and you're going to surprise people because they really didn't think that you had it in you to go that deep or to get that creative. So definitely don't let anything hinder or get in the way of this flow. If you can keep a journal or some type of book nearby, because you're going to be having just like all types of ideas and, like I said, solutions and things that you're going to need to get down. And so keep paper and pen near you anywhere you go, in your car, in your pocketbook, in your book bag. And, make sure that you're able to get down your phone. There's a notepad app for smartphones. Let's make sure that we're going to be able to get this stuff down. And so using that energy of the Eight of Discs, prepping, preparing, use the Prince of Wands to just move forward in life. Nothing can contain you at this point. You have everything that you need. The only thing that can slow you down is yourself, right? Life is prepared to receive you. Trust your boundless creative potential and just go with it. And I promise you, you're going to have a really great time where it's just nothing but creativity is just oozing from you. Right? And so just trust the process. Trust yourself. Don't be afraid to do whatever it is that's coming to your mind. Don't be afraid to implement these ideas, especially if they're original and different from everything else. We all know that there's so many followers out here and people that can't think for themselves. And so you should take pride on your ideas and your solutions and everything that you've thought of. Take pride in it and go ahead and give it to the world. They're definitely waiting. Our last and final tarot card is the Devil card. And in this situation, the Eight of Discs and the Prince of Wands, it brings about a different kind of meaning when we end with the Devil card. So the creativity that we spoke about, the solutions, the ideas, the art that is oozing from you, some people may or may not get it. Some people may not get your humor. They may not get your ideas. Like I said, if you're thinking a little different than the general consensus, it may take people aback just for a little bit. And, we may need to think about our moralistic limitations. We all have morals and values. Everybody has different sets, but let's reevaluate some of our moral limitations that we have on things, certain perceptions that we have. in order for us to kind of be free to live out these ideas and things that we want to do and want to share. Also, any type of fetishes or anything, see if you can try to, feed the fetish, explore. And now is the time to explore. This could be sexually, it could be creatively, but you got to stop getting in your own way. And of course, I'm not saying go out there and do all types of crazy stuff, but just explore the things that you've been afraid to, or you think someone might look down upon you, because you want to do something or you want to share this creative idea. So now's the time more than ever to do it. All right. And people that kind of try to demonize you and try to make you seem like you're this person you're not. It's not about you, it's about them. And don't worry about them. Just kind of laugh at them, right? And keep it moving, because they're not living. They're scared to do anything in their life that makes them happy. They're scared to be creative. They're scared to stand out. They're definitely scared to stand out. So, let's give into some desires a little bit. Let's give into some of the things that we are afraid to do. Let's do them. Now's the time to live it out. All right, so now we're going to get into our past life card. And the past life that is revolved around this full moon in Aquarius is vows. And so basically this card represents us taking some type of vow in one of our past lives, or several, that conflicts with the present. And this card would make sense that it comes up following behind the Devil card, following behind the Prince of Wands card, because doing what we really want to desire to do, and feeling morally limited, ties back to some vows or something that you may have taken in your past life or many past lives. Maybe you were in some type of monastery, maybe you were a nun, maybe you were one of those, those religious people that kind of like beat themselves. I don't know what they're called, self-deprecating, I don't know. But, maybe you're one of those religiously cult-like monastery nun-type religious people who just made a vow to the divine, or a vow to, to your God that you worshipped at that time, and it's kind of conflicting with what you've got going on in the present. You've got to release that energy. You're no longer in a monastery. You're no longer, a nun or a priest in this world, in this current life. And so those ties have to be cut, because they're limiting you. Your morals are completely different in this life than they were in those lives where you were in those religious settings. And so that's why you feel morally limited, and maybe the creative ideas that you want to do are conflicting with you because of the vows that you took in your past life or past lives, right? So let's think about that. That's an interesting idea to ponder, that the morals and values that we have in our present life could be spilling over from past lives that we've had, right? And it could conflict with this life and hinder us from what we need to do in this life. Like I said, the monastery thing, taking a vow. You could have took a vow of chastity, anything that would morally just hold you back in this current and present time that we live in right now. So we need to cut that cord. We definitely need to cut that cord so that we can move on and be the creator that we want to be, and be able to move on those ideas without feeling like there's a limit, like something is like there's a glass ceiling. You don't know why. Why can't I go through with this idea? I love it, but I'm just scared of what people might think, or it just feels wrong inside, and I don't know why. And it's nothing wrong. It's a great idea. I just feel wrong. So these are some thoughts that you may have, and like I said, this is why, because of these vows that you may have taken in some past lives, right? And our last and final card is the Goddess Guidance card. We're going to get guidance from a beautiful goddess, and her name is Cura. She's a Celtic and a Germanic goddess who multitasks as an Earth Mother deity, a fairy queen, and also a bridge between earthly life and hereafter. She helps us put our goals and challenges into perspective so that we don't needlessly stress ourselves. Call upon her for emergency money or help in manifesting supply. She's especially fond of assisting artists and inventors. And so that's really awesome how this card has been pulled. It's just the flow of the reading, which is very lucid, and all the cards just kind of confirmed each other, right? And so all the ideas that we need to have, that we need to write down and get out, we're morally limiting ourselves. We need to go ahead and just experiment. And, we've got confirmation from a beautiful goddess, Aquarius, that says, let's do this, and she's here to help. And so she also goes to say, you're just getting started, so have patience with yourself in the process and don't give up. In many ways, you are like a flower bud who is ripe and ready to open and grow. Don't try to rush this process, as it's part of your beautiful path. Enjoy learning new knowledge and skills. Take your time to gather new ideas. Nurture your body with plenty of fresh air, sunshine, water, and healthful food. Soon enough, you'll get the unmistakable signal that it's time to put your learning into action. Spend time among flowers or work with flower essences and oils to support your growth process. She also wants us to slow down and have patience. Get involved with gardening if you can, and use aromatherapy and our flower essences, and keep your faith. So it all flows, like I said, together with the reading of all the cards overall. So this concludes my full moon in Aquarius for July 2018 monthly reading. I hope you guys received the message well. And thank you for tuning in as always. And thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you waiting for? You got to get notifications for when I drop some stuff. So go ahead and click that logo right there and subscribe, please, okay? So you guys have a good one, and until next month's full moon reading. All right, bye-bye.